Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about one of my experiences in World of Warcraft, and that was the time that my friend caused himself to rage quit the game by pulling an entire mob, or let's say almost entire dungeon, with barrage. Now, for players who don't know, this was back in, I believe, the Warlords of Draenor expansion. So I had a friend of mine who I'd met. He had recently got into video games. He'd played The Witcher 3. He'd been playing and dabbling in some pretty mainstream RPGs, things like Mass Effect. And we really got along. We had a great time together. We spoke about games, spoke about lots of things. And basically, he said to me, "Well, do you want to play games?" I said, "Yeah, man, of course. No, I'd love to play games." But he was not too keen on playing MMOs. Never really played one. He'd never really played online games before. So we started playing games like Warframe. We started, kind of just enjoying playing games online together. We then went and played, after that, Diablo. I thought it would be a great stepping stone into, the RPG online experience. So we went and played Diablo, which was really great. Diablo 3 at the time, of course. And look, it wasn't for everyone, but I had a great time playing Diablo. So we had a little bit of Diablo, had a great time there. And basically, honestly, just had a great time playing the game together. And one night he said to me, "Oh man, I like Diablo, but really wish I just had like a little bit more levels, or a little bit more to kind of the RPG experience, I knew then that I had him. And I immediately said, "Hey man, let's play some World of Warcraft." So we switched over to World of Warcraft, and from then on, the experience was very unique. Now, being his first MMO, you have to go through the whole 9 yards, Hey man, this is how you accept quests. Hey man, this is how you hand in quests. Hey man, this is how you do this. Hey man, this is how you do that. And it was fine. Like, I think personally, I never ever mind taking new players through the experience. And he was a good guy. Like I said, we got along really, really great. But I had noticed, especially like when his computer and his PC, like when things didn't work too well, I noticed that he got quite tense. He didn't also really like other players commenting on stuff. Now, in Warframe and Diablo, this was not an issue, but we had played a little bit of Overwatch, and I can tell you that guy had got very toxic. In like the 100 hours I had spent playing Overwatch, he had one or two interesting dialogues with other players, which is fine. Like, hey, to each their own, as long as it's, just a little bit of back and forth banter, I don't see a problem with it. But yeah, so there was a little bit of a darker side to him. But it was fine. We played the game, we had a good time, did all that stuff. And basically, we got to around about level 20 or 30 and started doing dungeons. As everyone knows, especially back then, you start your dungeon grind. Now, when we talk about dungeon grind, one super important thing to understand is that at the time, hunters had a spell called barrage. Now, I believe they do still have barrage, of course, but everything is slightly changed. Barrage back then was, to cut a long story short, a ridiculous ability. It had like the widest cone possible. It did a horrendous amount of damage, like a huge amount of damage, but it had this ridiculously wide cone spread, and it moved back far. And it would just do great damage, but it would just clip everything in between the sun on these abilities. And now the thing is that this is fine. Like, this is okay. It's not a problem if like you use barrage. For new players and new hunters, this was an accident waiting to happen, and it actually occurred fairly early into our dungeoning experience in World of Warcraft, in the kind of like classic section of things. There is a dungeon, okay, that you can take on, right, called Moradon. Okay, in Moradon, right before you face Tinkler Gizlock, or just after it, there is basically 3 kind of descending mobs of trees. He managed to pull with his barrage basically every single group of mobs that you did not want to pull. He pulled pack after pack after pack after pack, and we instantly wiped. And what happened was the most passive exchange from a tank I think I've ever seen. At the time I wasn't tanking, and it was quite funny because basically he just said to him, hey man, try not to panic too much, and just relax with what you're doing. So my friend, because of his comments, said to him, hey, you don't tell me what to do, right? I don't need your backseat gaming. And immediately got incredibly upset with him. He said to me, hey, this is those toxic World of Warcraft players people are talking about. These are those people who just feel the need to constantly backseat game you and tell you what to do. They always hear about them on all the servers, on everything. And it was so funny to me because it was probably the nicest reply I've ever actually seen from a tank in World of Warcraft. It was really, really funny. So to have him completely blow up, he left immediately after the dungeon. He dropped out my TeamSpeak call, and he actually sent me a message in the morning saying that he deleted the game. He said, "No, I'm done. I'm not playing anymore. It's not my kind of game. With a community like that, I don't think I can play the game." And needless to say, I managed to convince him. Yeah, he did eventually relax a little bit, but it was just so funny to me to kind of see someone lose their minds almost over this like small exchange. And it showed me firstly how unique the dynamics in MMOs are, like compared to other games where you almost never ever interact with players. Even in World of Warcraft, LFG and everything like that, like there will still be players that will interact with you. I mean, I always try to interact with people in dungeons, and I think that's amazing. But it's amazing how people who don't interact with other players in MMOs react to that. And I think that's also something so interesting, because you've never had to have that. That's never happened to you. So now it's like a thing. But yeah, I think it's cool. And yeah, for me, it's just a funny little story. So have you ever had that happen? And how many times did you have a hunter accidentally pull your raid group? Yeah, how many times have you lost a raid or a dungeon to accidental hunter or warlock or any kind of pull? And yeah, let me know your thoughts. But that's it from me. Bye.